Hello, my name is Adam. I am a research assistant on the SEED project in DCU, and this is the start of a video series where I'm just going to run through a few things that might be helpful to you when you are working on the SEED project. So in today's video, we're going to be going through some online data sets, pre-existing data that is available to you that you might be interested to work with. So the aim of the project, as I'm sure you know by now, is communicating environmental data through non-traditional means. So it's important, especially when making art, as I'm sure a lot of you know, that it communicates to the viewer. And since we're based in Ireland, we think it's important that we use Irish data. So there's a few places where it's easy to find environmental data in Ireland. Data.gov.ie is a great place to find all sorts of data sets, as you can see here. It's 21,114 results, and that's with no filters. Now, I would recommend, if you're looking on data.gov.ie, that you filter for high-value data sets. These are data sets that the government and the Central Statistics Office think are high value, think can have a good impact on the world. They're good data sets that are important. The results are important and they're usable. So high value data sets, and if we filter by environment here, as that's the theme of the project, as you can see, we get 2001 results. Now you can filter by other things depending on your preferences. I personally like to work with CSV. A lot of people like to work with JSON, stuff like that. But right now we're just going to leave it at this. Of course, if you want specific things, you can search as well. So let's say I want to search rainfall data. I search that and there's weather radar data, 24 hours of climate station data, rainfall data from a specific weather station. So it's not difficult to navigate if we just go back. So as you can see here, radar files from Med Éireann. Now, a lot of this data is from Med Éireann. Med Éireann have weather stations all over the country and they have some great data that's very useful. As you can see, peat. Obviously, peat is a big environmental thing in Ireland as a fossil fuel and using up our natural bogs just to burn them, you know. So you can scroll through this. You can get 24 hours of climate station data. They also come in monthly data or daily data rather than hourly data. You can get, Med Éireann has all the individual airports as well as their, sorry, not airports, all the individual weather stations as well as their overall data sets encompassing all weather stations. You can see there's some flood studies, which obviously flooding is probably one of the biggest elements of climate change in Ireland. Flooding is a huge problem, especially with increasingly severe storms. So if we go down, there's obviously hundreds of pages and it covers Castleconnell as a weather station, buoy reports from the sea. They can cover sea level, stuff like that. The Office of Public Works has water level data, stuff like that. There's discharge into the water in Ireland. So all of this stuff is useful and can be used along with multiple different techniques to make art if you're interested in it. Another place where it's easy to find data is data.cso.ie. So that's the Central Statistics Office in Ireland. And they provide hundreds of data sets as well. However, we're looking for environment and specifically climate, I would say, although feel free to work on something else in environment. So as you can see here, what these ones are here, these are the same Med Éireann data sets, but they're the constant ones. So as you can see, from 1960 in January until August 2025, this contains the precipitation amount for every single weather station in Ireland across that time. The same for temperature, sunshine, wind. Archive ones, these are the same things. They're only going up till 2022. If we'd like to go back, and we're back in, this is the CSO's main page, so we go in statistics database. Go back, we could do environment, look at ecosystems, so crop pollination, flood control, stuff like that, that's all relevant. Energy, if you want to talk about energy ratings and Ireland's energy grid and how that affects the climate, that's also an option. Forestry, afforestation area, removals, stuff like that. Obviously, deforestation in Ireland is a big enough area considering how the tree cover used to be hundreds of years ago compared to now. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at agriculture, wastewater. So CSO has loads of data available as well, and you can look through that yourself. And the Office of Public Works is another option, and I love this one because they give you a little map. So there's a map of Ireland, and each of these little dots covers a water station. And let's say you were looking at specifically water level, you can turn off all of the other options. And this is showing you all of the stations that measure water level. Let's say I want to measure water level and rain gauge. It shows both of them. Just rain gauge. There's the rain gauges. Level and flow is its own option here. So there's all sorts of options, and what you can do here is you can click into a station. You can see information about the station. You can go to water level and it gives you an overview. So this is the water level across this year. And in here, with this little download button, you can download the data set. Let's say you want water temperature, same thing. So you can get an overview before you download the data set. Download gives you different options depending on, what you want. If you want a month, a year, just a week, just 48 hours. If you want CSV, copy the link, or I don't know what type of download that would be, but there's loads of different options there. So from all of these sites, you can download the data and work with it yourself, whether it's in Python or in Excel or however you feel comfortable. Or if you're a bit more comfortable with coding, you can pull it through a coding script from the internet and save yourself having to download it from yourself, And finally, we're going to go just to NASA Earth data. Now, this is obviously less relevant to Ireland, but one reason I particularly like this is NASA Earth data has data about sea level rise, which of course is very relevant to Ireland and very relevant to climate change as a whole. So the same thing here, Earth data is very focused on the Earth, so they would have a lot of climate data. Click on climate indicators here. Resilience of coastal wetlands to sea level rise. Mean sea level data. Monthly mean. So they have loads of data sets available, but it's more world-based, whereas if you want to elicit emotion out of your viewers in Ireland, I think it's better to go for some of the Irish websites. So those are the main ways, I'd say, of accessing data online. If you want to use pre-existing data sets, of course, you can always use live data as well, and we're going to talk about that in another video. But for pre-existing data, this is a great place to start. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or a member of the team, and I'll see you in the next video.